Hey everyone, I'm the Rawstrologer. Today I'm going to talk all about the first house in astrology, the first house in the natal chart. This is the house of the self and that which comes naturally to you. It's your own unique individuality and sense of identity, your innermost self and how you behave. The condition of the first house in your natal chart shows the quality of your ego, how you meet your environment, and how you're received by the outside world. How others perceive you upon first impression. It's also somewhat the story of how others began to see you since your childhood, and that in itself shaped your identity. It's all of the output and input between you and the world, your basic approach to life. It also plays a huge role in your physical appearance, both naturally and how you choose to look. It's the image that you want to project onto the world. It's your inherent self. So if you're ever feeling like you're disconnected from yourself, actually studying the first house in your natal chart can get you back in touch with your instincts and your intuition. It's a cardinal house, therefore an angular house, and therefore a generally very impactful house. Some of the most important life lessons you're here to learn can be found in the first house. It's ruled by the energetic, courageous, and often aggressive planet Mars. So any planets or celestial bodies that you have in your first house are under its influence and are colored by these qualities to a degree. The first house cusp, called the Ascendant, is the very beginning of the first house in the natal chart. In your own chart, the sign that the Ascendant touches, and it can be touching the sign anywhere within its entire 30 degrees, regardless of where, the sign touching the Ascendant is the sign of your first house, also known as your rising sign. The closer a planet is to the Ascendant, the greater effect it'll have on one's personality and physical appearance. The further down into the house it is, the traits of that planet may not show itself in that person's personality very strongly, at least not right away upon meeting the person. Additionally, a planet could be in the 12th house, but within only a few degrees of the Ascendant, and it's therefore to be interpreted as being in the first house, since once a planet is about 5 degrees from the next house cusp, the energy of that next house is far stronger and more influential upon the planet and how it's expressed than that of the house it technically sits in. The sun. You're charismatic, attention-grabbing, loving, warm. If it's closer to your ascendant, you probably have a bit of a dominating personality, but if it's down further toward the second house, then you're probably really focused on being like an effective leader. The moon. You might always be unsatisfied with yourself. You might always be striving to be a better person, or on the contrary, you could be like naive, childish, and you could be really inconsiderate of how you come across to other people. The closer it is to the ascendant, the more likely it is that you're so very empathic and you have to practice not letting others' energies get to you and make you sick. But ultimately, your sensitivity is a strong point. Mercury in the first house, you're sociable, funny, logical rather than emotional. You probably have a lot of different interests, a lot of different jobs. You're probably always going to look younger than you are, or you're always going to have some kind of youthful vibes about you. Venus in the first house, you're emotional, you're sensitive, you're loving, physically beautiful. You've got noticeable feminine energy, and you're probably really talented when it comes to design and aesthetics, and you're inclined to be artistic. Mars is home here. So you're active, energetic, competitive, you're born to be a leader, you're probably really strong-bodied and athletic, you always get the job done and more. You're just motivated to do a lot of things. You've got lots of energy. With Jupiter in the first house, this is awesome to have. Everything that you touch could potentially grow into something amazing. You're lucky and successful in everything that you do. You attract a lot of opportunities for growth as well as people and events that all benefit you. Life might happen for you very easily. This is a very lucky placement. Okay, Saturn in the first house, it tends to slow things down for you, like you're in slow motion. It's like a guardian angel protecting you from that which you're not ready for, that which isn't meant for you. You probably take your time going about your goals. This could definitely feel like a challenging placement. You're a natural teacher. Nothing and nobody can alter your truth or your standards. Okay, Uranus here. You're very unique and individualistic. You want to go about things your own way. Your approach is really unique and original. Other people might see you as a bit odd. Loneliness might actually be a theme that you contend with throughout your whole life. Neptune in the first house. You're guided by your intuition. You're super intuitive. That and your feelings guide you, and so does your spirituality. And you might not be very fact or logic oriented. You perceive things through a more spiritual lens. And let's get one thing straight. First and foremost, you're an artist. That's an integral part of who you are and your personality and your identity, especially if Neptune is closer to the ascendant. Pluto in the first house. This placement oftentimes leads to feelings of depression and loneliness. The reason being is because you have a very, very deep attitude and approach to life. You don't take things lightly, especially the closer Pluto is to the ascendant. You don't take the first answer you're given. You ask questions, you probe until you get to like the bare bones of it, until you get to the absolute truth, the foundation. Keep in mind too that the expression of any planets that you have in your natal chart are going to be warped by the interactions that they make with other planets, other celestial bodies, and the angles that they make between them and different points in your natal chart. Okay, Aries, you take life in with full enthusiasm and enjoyment. You approach the new very innocently with big first life eyes and a lot of enthusiasm. And you're not afraid of life's challenges. You take everything as it comes and you have the energy to do so. You might have a temper. You're a mighty one. Taurus, okay, you take your time when it comes to meeting anything new. You project an image of stability, security, even if your feelings inside and like your core is very different. You're also probably perceived as being stubborn. Gemini, you come across as very friendly, very communicative, open, with like a genuine curiosity and interest in whatever the new person or situation has to offer. You're very optimistic. You genuinely love learning from every new person, every new thing that happens, and you probably always look young. Cancer rising, you come across as very warm, emotional, loving, nurturing. People, even if they don't know you, they just kind of tend to trust you. You probably find people open up to you really quickly. You first notice your own feelings. You notice your emotional reaction to whatever the new event or thing happens to be. Leo rising. People want you to lead them. They perceive you as someone who's very warm, who just radiates light from the inside out, someone who they can put their trust in to guide them. People want to make you the center of things. There's, of course, going to be situations where people perceive you as being too dominating and too egotistical. That's because when you meet the new, you experience yourself first, and you may not always be taking in what's happening around you and how others are feeling around you. First house in Virgo, you've got administrator vibes about you. You look like you know how to maintain order. You're always perfectly styled for whatever occasion it may be. You're very detail-oriented. You're very aware of your surroundings and you take it all in. You notice every color, every shape, and it can feel overwhelming. Libra, you come across as friendly, engaging, cooperative. You love a harmonious environment. You love to maintain harmony in the environment, and you're very careful not to change the pace of an environment because you do not want to be the one to be a buzzkill. Ruin the atmosphere. So you've got people-pleasing tendencies. As an idealist at heart, you may come across to some as judgmental. You're probably very naturally beautiful, but you present yourself in ways that enhance your beauty. Scorpio, when you meet the new, you're focused on your emotions and your emotional reactions. So you may not be focused on what is tangibly present in front of you or who. You receive the outside world very subjectively. Others see you as very deep, very sensitive. Sagittarius rising. You meet the new in an extremely open and quite passionate manner. You see the beauty in everything. You're real optimistic. You love to seize new opportunities as they present themselves to you. Others feel welcomed by you upon initial interaction. Capricorn rising. You come across serious and you approach things in a very practical way. You want to know how you can be of use and what you can do. You are efficient and you have a thing for efficiency. Others see you as reliable, direct, down to earth, but they can also see you as quite rigid. Aquarius. You react uniquely when you meet the new, according to your own individualism. You've got a certain perspective that doesn't really reflect the status quo, and others do pick up on that. There are many people that both respect and enjoy your individualism, but there, of course, are going to be people who see you as eccentric or strange. First house in Pisces. You're really easily affected by what's going on in your environment. You take it all in. You really easily understand how others feel just upon meeting them for the first time. You're highly connected to the spirit world. Others view you as very soft, very sensitive. You probably even come across as quiet. That's it for the first house. Look forward to the second house video coming soon. Readings can be booked on my website. And thanks for watching.